This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Well, today I wanted to bring up a subject that came up during a recent review that I've done on Return to Dark Tower. Okay? I'll be honest with you. Okay? This game was quite disappointing to me in some ways. I still think it has a great life, but I want to talk about my review on this, where it may not have been that popular with some people, because some people really have a nostalgia for things. But that's kind of what I want to talk about. Do we remember things the way they were because of how they touched us when we were children? They always seem bigger and better. And nowadays, if we play that same thing, would it translate? I think that's what happens with this particular game. I don't think this is a game that really translated really well to, 2024 or 2023 when it came out. I didn't get it when it originally came out because of the hype, and it was impossible, and they were asking $400 or $500 for it. The original, I remember being at the Dice Tower, and I was going through the flea market stuff, and I saw it, and some guy I said, well, how much is that? And the guy goes, $400. I go, well, I ain't paying $400 for that. And I go, oh wow, cool. Went down, looked at some of the other stuff. Somebody came over and said, Dark Tower, how much is it? $400. Will you take $375? Yeah. And it was sold just like that. And as he walked by with the game, people went, oh, Dark Tower, oh, Dark Tower. And I went, wow, this must be a really great game. But when you compare the gameplay today to the gameplay of this game, even though it's been modernized a little bit with the app, the Dark Tower is more of a gimmick itself. I started thinking, I go, well, wow, this really isn't that good. I mean, it's okay. And if you never played as many board games as I have, or somebody that's played a lot, or somebody that just doesn't have a fond memory, or who have never played it, you would take it as it's just kind of average at best. And that's the way I felt. But people have, remember a snowy day and them and their friends and their mom making them lunch and maybe playing the original Dark Tower. And that's how they remember it. The gameplay just seems maybe so much better because it's built into memories. And it after playing this, and this was I played it and did the review on it. You guys didn't see it till later, of course, but it was a few days before HeroScape went onto the street. And I had played HeroScape many years ago, and I was hyped up to buy this. Okay, and I said, ooh, the new HeroScape. It's going to be, redone. I think I'll get the painted version, pay the $200 and some odd dollars, and get the expansion. And then they got more stuff coming out down the road. Yeah, I'm going to do this. And then by playing this Return to the Dark Tower, it made me stop for a minute. It made me stop and go, wow, I just spent $179 for this from Miniature Market, which was a lot cheaper than if you went on Amazon, by the way. I go, why am I going to pay another $200 for the main set and the expansion for a miniature game that isn't as good as some of the miniature games that are out right now? And it made me stop. And I stopped for a minute or two, and I said, you know what? I think I'm going to let this one go. I go, first of all, those tiles were cheap. Are they going to make them any better? I don't know. Is the gameplay going to be any better? Probably not. And one of the reasons I was actually thinking of even getting it was my grandkids. Ooh, this would be fun to kind of start them off with. Well, if I want to start them off on a miniature game, why don't I just play Alpha Strike Battletech with them? You know, something that's simpler than the original Battletech. When they get older, I'll make them play the older version. But I thought, you know, well, because this is more kid-based, this would be a good miniature introduction. But people are going off of how much fun they had years ago compared to what miniature games are now, and you know, the quality, how much more fun with certain skirmish games that you can play nowadays. I'm not saying HeroScape's a bad game. I'm just saying I think, you know, we remember it more fondly years ago than we do, and how it equates in 2024 compared to what's out there now. And it made me not buy it. Pulled me back. And I started realizing that some of these games weren't that much fun back then. I mean, they were fun back then because that's all we had. There wasn't, you know, 1,000 games coming out every year. Okay? And what we had, we were more imaginative and more we weren't as spoiled as we are now, and where, you know, when you say, hey, I want to play a racing game, there's like 40 different racing games, and whatever is going to hit your mark is out there. Okay, where back then there was maybe only 4 or 5 racing games, and you kind of went, well, this one's good, you know, it's a racing game, and you didn't think of anything else. You know, the same thing with dungeon crawls. How many millions of dungeon crawls? And yet one dungeon crawl still reigns supreme, and that's Warhammer Quest. Maybe that's not the greatest example. Okay, but you know, there are certain classics that really do hold up, but some of these do not. And I think Dark Tower may not. I wasn't too impressed with it. HeroScape, I think there are better things out there. And I think we have to be careful with our touch of nostalgia. If we want to have these things, to have them in our collection, to bring back memories, that's great. But if we are bringing them into play and say, yeah, this is a great game, I think we're going to be a little disappointed, because I don't think our memories hold up as well. So that's just something I noticed and realized on my little adventure over the last week or so, and I wanted to share that with you. Maybe you guys feel differently about certain things, and how it goes. But I think time changes a lot of things, and that's that. So until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.